I laugh it off. But I'm 46 years old. And while I'm getting ready for surgery and everything, it dawned on me. Hold on. I'm sorry. It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me. I don't have a husband to help me get ready. I'm 46 years old and I still need my mama.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Talk Podcast. So I picked out this video. I know that some people or a lot of people might have seen this clip already. There was a time where this video clip actually went viral and, people were talking about it. They had different opinions to it. Some people were like, well, this is what you get. And some people really felt for her. I do think it's really painful to see her, in this situation. But at the same time, it is true. You put yourself in this position. And in this video clip, there is actually a lot to unpack. So let's talk about it. This is a woman in her mid-40s, and she is talking to her audience on TikTok and actually complaining and crying about her life outcome. And this is something that we see a lot that women do. One thing could be she is genuinely in the position of, I need someone to talk to. I want to share this maybe to kind of educate other people. But most of the time when women do things like this, it has a lot to do with seeking attention. In so many ways, women are drawn to attention. We love it, and it's not always a bad thing, but sometimes it is very hard to understand why people do certain things just to gain attention. Well, there are a lot of men who are in this situation as well, who are in their older ages and are struggling with certain things in life, with relationship. But you don't always see men running to the internet and complaining and crying and seeking attention and validation. They either look for a way to deal with it or they try to better themselves. They would literally accept the situation. But for women, a lot of the time, it is hard for us to accept the situations that we are going through in life, especially the ones that we had put ourselves in. So we look for attention, we look for empathy and sympathy, we look for validation from other people, and most likely you are going to find that on the internet, because on the internet, on platforms like TikTok and Instagram, there are a lot of feminist-minded women who are going to empower you and sugarcoat your situation and tell you it is not your fault and use shaming language against men to make you feel better. So guys, but what's actually going on in this clip is a woman in her mid-40s having to realize that she is lonely, having to realize certain things when it's actually almost too late. And the reason why this is so hard for her to comprehend or to kind of deal with is because now when she is in a situation of need, in her case, having to go to the hospital, getting surgery, and realizing there is no one there to help you. There's no one there to take care of you. There's no one there who's going to put effort and time to say, I care for you. I'm going to be there for you no matter what. Someone's going to come around, visit you. Someone is going to bring food. Someone's going to drive you there, pick you up. Someone is going to be around after the surgery, once you're back home, and help you with whatever things you need until you're fully recovered. And it is a bit selfish because when you hear women like this talking, you only talk about the point of I need help. Now suddenly I am in a bad situation. It's all about me, me, me. So all the years that she had, especially her prime years, which would be her early 20s, she didn't prioritize a relationship. She didn't prioritize marriage. She didn't prioritize starting life and putting work into it to share life with someone, not just for her selfishness, because actually not just for her selfishness, but actually because she would have wanted to also be there for someone, vice versa. But she never cared about that. So I would assume she was having fun, traveling the world, going partying, having different encounters with different men, having sexual experience, all that good stuff. And now suddenly when you are in this situation where you are in need, you figure out that even people you call your friends or people you met doing partying, people who are on your social media platforms you call your friends or followers, they're actually not really there for you. Because at the end of the day, the only people who are really going to be there for you and who are going to commit their time and dedicate their time to you is your family. And if it's not your mom and dad and siblings, it's going to be your own family that you have grown with someone. And it's also going to be the extended family that have joined into the family. But if you don't have that, you are going to face reality of literally not having anyone, because your coworkers are not going to do it. The people on Instagram are not going to do it. Your friends, they might try here and there, but they have their own lives. They might live completely in different cities. They might not even be able to do it because they have children and families. So the expectations that you would have on your friends for them being there for you sounds great, but it's not always realistic. So she also talks about how she wasted time and all the good men are gone. Because why? They are good men. All the good men are gone and they have been married or gotten married in their 20s and their 30s. And she was wasting time dealing with the so-called, in her words, buffoons. And also admitting that it's not all men who are so-called, you know how women like to say men are trash, but actually there are a lot of women who are trash too. So where I'm trying to go with this is a lot of the time, women tend to look at their life the way it is now, like when they're young, when they're beautiful, when they're physically fit, when their body is able, when they have all the options, and they use this situation, the best case scenario, to predict the future. And to be honest, 46 is not super old, right? That's actually still quite young. But we cannot determine or always predict how life is going to be. It can happen that out of nowhere, you find yourself in a very unlucky situation, having severe illness, having an accident, or losing your job. You know, they can be so many things that you didn't expect, that you couldn't even prepare for in terms of planning and saving and whatever. And there's some things that people don't do. They don't save ahead for the future. They're just living in the moment. But going back to that, so there are things that you cannot predict in the future. You might think as yourself as healthy today and able today and fit today and beautiful today. But when women talk like that, we most likely don't think about how are we actually going to be today, 20 years to come, 30 years to come. And the other thing that people don't actually realize is how fast time passes. I used to think when I was like 16, when I would hear people saying they're 25, to me, it seemed like, oh, forever. 25 is so far ahead, but that's not true. It's going to come so fast. And suddenly you wake up and you are 25. And that's what is happening with a lot of women. 10 years can run so fast, especially when you never prepared or planned ahead or actually weigh out the consequences and the possible outcome. So now she has found herself in a situation where she is struggling, facing a severe health issue, needing surgery, but there's no one to be there for her. And that's actually really painful. And it's bad because a lot of women are going to go through this. And in the future, it's going to be even more. And now think about financial situations where some women look at their situations of life in the now, but don't think about how it can be in the future. And we do all understand how life is very expensive right now. Do you think it's going to get cheaper in the future? No, it's going to grow exponentially. It's going to be even more expensive. And then you have these women who are putting themselves on a pedestal, having less than average income, some of them, let's say, at least average income, and calling themselves boss chicks and strong and independent, but not looking at the future, what can happen. What happens if you actually never saved up? What happened if you do get sick and you're not able to cover up your basic expenses? In the US, this is actually growing more and more. A lot of women are finding themselves ending on the streets. The social security system in the US is completely different to the ones we have in Germany. In Germany, the chances that you are going to find help somehow, especially being a woman, those chances are quite high. But in the US, it's completely different. A lot of women are ending up on the street, but they don't think about this. They don't think about that can be actually a possible outcome for them, because men, they know this, and there's no one to show pity for them. There's no one to be like, oh, I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to reach and hand out to you. No, if a man doesn't figure out his life, doesn't plan ahead, doesn't weigh out the consequences of what could go wrong, right? He's going to end up on the streets. And in a woman's mind, yeah, sure, he's going to end up on the streets. I mean, that's his issue. But think about if that was you. Right? We don't think about these situations. So there are so many reasons why women are actually going to fail in future if they keep up this attitude, if they keep following this negativity that has been pushed, this radical feminism, this hate against men. And it's actually not only hate against men, it is a destruction against the family structure. And you're putting yourself in danger, and you're putting yourself in poverty. And some of them even have children. You're putting those kids in a very bad situation. These kids are starting off their life at disadvantage. The family structure in modern times means nothing anymore. And to some people in the now situation that they're like, I don't care. I can do it all on my own. Who cares? But wait until time hits and you start realizing, oh, it would have been great for me to have family. It would have been great for me to be in a community. It would have been great for me to have extended family. So I don't know. I think to me, it's truly heartbreaking. And I want more people to think about it. You don't need to agree with me. That is not the point. You don't need to say I'm right. That is not the point. It's not going to change anything if I'm right or wrong. I would wish for people to actually sit down and question what is going on nowadays. Question the choices that you are making. Actually think about your life and think about the things you're putting out there. It's important. And maybe if some people do it and practice thinking and not just, making choices based on how they feel, because feelings come and go. You might have felt a certain way this year, that week, that month, but you're going to feel completely different about it the next day, the next week, the next month, next year. So making choices solely based on how you feel is actually the best way to fall into a devastating situation. I really hope people listen to this. I really hope people actually learn from other people's bad choices. Not that I'm saying this is great. I feel bad for this woman, but instead of keep repeating the bad choices and the bad negative cycle, why not look at this and be like, whoa, this, I don't want this to be me. I don't want this to happen to my sister. I don't want this to happen to my friend. I don't want this to happen to women in my community. I want people to have stability and structure in their life. However, guys, I hope you enjoy. See you in the next one. Bye.